everybody, and welcome to the Coach Paul Tortorella Show. I'm Jack Benedict. We're going to talk IUP Crimson Hawks football as they ran a record of 7-1 Saturday. Not a good weather day, but a good football day to win it 35-0 over Gannon. You know, Coach, we had talked in the last couple of weeks after slow starts for a while. Now you're starting to, get off to a really good start. Kickoff return really gave you a good, well, we were holding our breath for a minute about the $50,000 deal. That's part of this. But that really kind of set the tone, and then you got up on them early, and it's always great to get that good start, isn't it?
Well, I think when you kind of control the game when you get the lead like that, you can do some things on both sides of the ball knowing that you got a 2 or 3 touchdown lead, that you don't have to worry about every call that you make, et cetera. Kicking game, the same thing. We were up 14-0, had the ball on their 40, 4th and 6, so we had the punt fake alert and we took it. And we've been good with it over the last couple of years. I think we're 6 for 6 right now on the punt fake. But even if we get stopped there, you're still winning 14-0, and you're just giving them the ball on their 35 or 40 yard line. So it was not a hard decision, and if it's not there, we don't do it. So, but having a lead, it helps. When you're up 14-0, you can do some things on, in all 3 phases that maybe you wouldn't normally do if the score was 0-0.
Mm-hmm. On the pump fake, the fake, everything has to be aligned, doesn't it?
Right.
And you saw that, huh?
Right. You have to have the look that we think we're going to get. If you don't get it, then you don't run it. You just punt it. The look was exactly the look we practiced against, and we called it, obviously, and the player was automatic that out on the field, and it was there. It was there.
Myers is the type of player you need to execute something like that, too.
Well, he's a former fullback in high school. He was actually a pretty good fullback, running fullback in high school. So we have 3 guys in that shield. Langdon's a fullback, Myers, and then Damon Lloyd. So we've got 2 blockers that are athletic enough to, if something doesn't go right, they can adjust to it. But it really was exactly the way we drew it up.
Mm. You mentioned about Langdon. You start to incorporate him a little bit more in the offense. He's got a couple of touchdowns for you, but you give the defense another look too, the old I formation.
Sure, and if you need 2 yards, it's a quick. It happens quick. You're not giving the ball to the tailback who's 6 or 7 yards deep in the backfield. You do have a running back with the ball other than a quarterback sneak. And it's, you're not going to see it a whole lot other than if it's on the 1 yard line or if it's 3rd and 1. We ran it out in the middle of the field on 2nd and 4 somewhere during the game, and I was on the phone saying, I'm not really interested in seeing that play on 2nd and 4. If we're going to run the ball, let's give it to our tailbacks. Yeah. But we want it on 3rd and 1 or less, or 4th and 1 or less, or down on the 1 yard line. That's a really good play for us.
Yeah. Well, Quentin Maxwell had another good game. He was on top of his game. 3 touchdown passes on the day. Could have had a couple of more scores too, right?
We had 2 drops, 2 drop touchdowns. Simple as that. JoJo dropped 1 and Dwayne dropped 1. And there were 2 deep ball throws that were right there. I think he threw 8 deep balls, and all 8 of them were perfect passes. So it helps. Sometimes it gets to the point where it's too, the one with Dom McNeil, Dom made a really good catch, and their DB knocked it out. He actually made a really good play. It was a great throw and catch, but their defender made a really good play. The other 2 were just drops. They were open, and Quentin put them right there.
Yeah. The one with Dwayne, it appeared that he had control, but maybe when his knee came up, he kicked it out. I don't know. It's hard to say.
You don't know in those situations. The thing that you got to watch is don't take success for granted. Don't take winning for granted. And if you start doing that, then, things like drop passes, missed assignments start to crop up because you think they're just going to automatically happen. Now, the throw is pretty automatic. It's been right there on most of the deep balls all year.
Yeah. On the defensive side, Damon Lloyd comes up with an interception, and he takes it all the way to the house for 40 yards. And that gave you even more. That even just tacked it on at the right time.
Right. Well, we had 3 explosive plays that weren't on offense. We had the interception return for a touchdown. Damon, great play. It was a great catch because the ball was thrown pretty hard, in a short area. Mm-hmm. We had the 56-yard kickoff return, and then we had the fake punt for 18 yards for a first down. So we had 3 explosive plays that had nothing to do with our offense. And it helped us score 14 points. Obviously, Damon, and then the fake punt led to a touchdown, and the opening kickoff led to a touchdown. So really, all three of those plays either scored or helped us score 21 of the 35 points. We did leave probably 21 out there on the 2 deep balls. And, excuse me, one series we had it going, and we just snapped the ball too soon. You know, we had a play that probably would have got us down inside the 10-yard line. And it was 3rd and 5. And we would have went for it, but we ended up losing 7 yards because we had to recover the fumble because the ball was snapped too soon. It was just a misexecution. So we probably left 3 touchdowns out there on Saturday.
Other than the obvious in Maxwell and Lloyd and Brown, how about some of the players that graded well in the win over Gannon?
Well, Carter had a great kickoff return, made about 3 tackles on kickoff coverage, had the touchdown. Even like the play late in the game, you know, 3rd down, we don't want to give them the ball back and go out and play defense at the end of the game. We throw them the little drift screen, and there's not a lot of room into the boundary there, but he still finds a way to make a 1st down. Kelly does a great job, you know, blocking. He has a choice to block 1 or 2 guys. Well, it's kind of 50-50 who to block. Whether he blocks the right one or the wrong one, he does a good job doing it, and it gets us the 1st down, and we don't have to play defense there at the end of the game. So we can preserve the shutout. And he played really well. Our offensive line played very well. We had a couple breakdowns in protection. We were actually in max protection. You know, I was kiddingly saying this morning, I said, when we have a 6-man protection Saturday, we had no trouble. But when we went into a max protection, the quarterback was getting hit. We didn't give up any sacks, but Quentin took a hard hit, and so did Jalen. So, you know, but offensively and then defensively, our corners are playing really good. Streeter's playing really good. Stevens is playing good. And, you know, our defensive line is not, you know, making a ton of big plays, but Fisher's the guy that's kind of taking his game to another level with 2 sacks. And he's being a guy that's been very hard to block for the opponents.
I think we asked you this on the post game I observed up there, and I don't know much, but I see where Tillman, you were flipping him all over the place so that they, you know, if they're going to double team him, right?
Right. You got to find him if we move him right.
Exactly. Let them figure out where he is, right?
Yeah, and we dropped him once or twice in pass coverage. You know, we don't really like to do that because he's our best pass rusher, but he really does a great job in coverage and covers a lot of area. The play that they hit for a 1st down on 3rd and 14, the quarterback was getting ready to throw it, and Tillman would have picked it, and he just caught himself and double clutched it, and then he made a low throw where the guy caught it. But Tillman was in perfect position. Amendola was a little late getting to the hash mark, but you know, we're trying to move him around enough that the offenses don't know exactly where he's going to be.
You've had the opportunity with the way the scores and the games have gone to incorporate some other people on the offensive line, get some of these young guys back. That's good experience for them, and it appears, you know, that they're doing a pretty good job.
Well, we played 4 tackles Saturday with McLean DeJua being the 4th tackle. Darryl was the 3rd tackle. Matt Guvermont started, and he also played some guard. McAllister played a little bit Saturday and got through it pretty well. So, you know, we're like 8 guys right now that we feel comfortable moving around, and it's probably 1 or 2 more than we've had here in a while.
Yeah. Seton Hill, let's talk about Seton Hill. They won 2 in a row after not having won any, or they have a new coach in Dan Day.
Right.
Tell me if you see anything. Does it look like a different Seton Hill team, or are there similarities?
I think it's a little both. I know that's a contradiction, but you know, they do some things offensively where they, like we call it the reindeer games. They were a big reindeer game team in the past, and they're still, I think 11 of the first 12 plays against Edinburgh were formations that you don't normally see. So we'll have to deal with that. Defensively, they're more simple than they've been in the past. You know, that's where they've changed a little bit on defense. You know, they're playing better. They you know, aren't making as many mistakes as they have in the past. I think they're -3 or 4 in turnover ratio, but they're not getting a lot of negative plays on offense. They're trying to help their defense out a little bit. You know, in the past they were so fast, hurry on offense that their defense would be on the field 15 or 16 series a game. And, they weren't real good defensively. So if you're giving up points on 75% of the time you're out there, you're giving up 50 points. So they've done a good job, I think, correlating their offense and defense together. And they had a nice run there. They had 2 really good wins in a row back-to-back. Started off good against Edinburgh, got up 7-0. A couple things went against them, and then in the second half, Edinburgh kind of put them away. So it'll be, interesting to go up there this Saturday, and we're expecting them to play good and give us, their best shot because most people do.
Yeah, they do commit a lot of penalties. They have like 21 more than the opposition, though.
I think a lot of the penalties they're getting, their offensive line is young. They do so many different things on offense that may be leading to some of the penalties that they're getting. But they do confuse the defenses a lot. That's why they do the certain things that they do. So, I think our answer really is to be even more simple on defense when we play teams that do a lot of things that are unconventional on offense.
Going into this game, looking at a team that has only 2 wins, you guys are 7-1. But what do you feel that your team has to do a little bit better?
Well, I think we've got to stop the run better. We gave up 4 or 5 runs Saturday of over 12 yards that just can't happen. And it was really on 50% of them, it was just our guys not playing the play right. It had nothing to do with we were in a bad defense or we got blocked really bad. We just didn't fit it up right. And we've got to stop the runs that are coming out there. We had 4 or 5 on Saturday. We've done a pretty good job in the pass game, at least statistically. I think Saturday we only gave up 1 explosive play of over 20 yards in a pass game. Now, they dropped a touchdown pass, so, there's some games on defense where if we give up 24, we say, we really should only gave up 10. This week, we got a shutout, but we probably should have gave up 14 because there was one play they had us on and they didn't execute. And the other play they just dropped, they had a touchdown.
Yeah, that was Cox on that play over
down the middle of the field. So they matched up a pretty good play against the defense, the check that we were in, and then the other play, we didn't get one of the guys didn't get the check communicated to him, so we busted a coverage. But, I think defensively, if you said one thing, we got to do a better job stopping the run. We're doing a really good job on 3rd down and getting off the field when we get them in 3rd down. Offensively, we've just got to really clean up our execution. We had 3 or 4 plays where the ball was on the ground Saturday, and it's not supposed to be on the ground. 2 of them were fumbles that we recovered. The other one was a forward pass. It was called a forward pass, which was the right call. And, just some of the things protection-wise we got to clean up. I think, offensively, throwing the ball, we're getting the ball vertical and down the field. We are running the ball with success. People say, well, you only ran for 130 yards or whatever. Well, our top 3 running backs had 120 yards on 6, I think it was 16 carries. So we averaged over 6 yards a carry with our top 3 running backs. So, sometimes statistics don't really tell the true tale. I would like to say probably just do a better job in protecting the quarterback. And it's not so much the O-line, it's everybody. The tight ends when they're in protection, the running backs when they're in protection, against different blitzes, et cetera, et cetera. The quarterback maybe could do something a little better in those situations. So we're not taking a lot of sacks, but our quarterbacks both got hit 6 or 7 times Saturday, and we can't have that.
Finally, any particular improvement you need in any of the special teams?
Well, the 2 areas we concentrated on last week, we made big jump in. Our kickoff coverage, they averaged getting the ball on the 12-yard line after every kickoff. Now, they had a couple penalties, but their penalties were reasons why we didn't tackle them inside the 20. And then our kickoff return, unfortunately, we've been having too many kickoff returns because we haven't been playing as good a defense as we like. Well, Saturday we played good enough defense. We only had 1 return, but we ran it back for 56 yards. So those are the 2 areas. I think our punter's got to get it going a little bit. I think, he's into his 8th game now. As a freshman, he's got the experience. We got to get a little bit more out of him, and we haven't tried a lot of field goals, but we have missed the last 2 field goals we've tried. So, just tie some things down. Our coverages have been good. The 1 punt return we screwed up. That Dwayne tried to pick up a bouncing ball that he should never have done. So we got a turnover there that should have never happened. But, you know, we just got a lot of things, a lot of little things to clean up that will help us down the road.
All right. Okay, 7-1 going into Seton Hill. Good luck on Saturday, a noon kickoff. We hope a lot of fans will make the trip, short trip, and we'll go from there, huh?
It's like a home away game, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, 40-minute drive. So, yeah, it'd be nice. It's supposed to be a nice day, a little chilly, but we'll see.
We've really been lucky there.
Yeah, well, other than Saturday.
Saturday
I
wasn't,
mean,
yeah.
But, you know, last time we played Gannon, we played for 7 hours and had 4 lightning delays. So Saturday wasn't that bad.
I think I remember that.
Right.
Good luck, Tort.
Thanks, Jack.
All right, that's Coach Tort. It's a noon kickoff in Greensburg against Seton Hill coming up Saturday. We hope to see you there. Be watching, be listening. For the coach, this is Jack Benedict. Have a nice evening.